And we are back for some more King of the Castle. Let's go ahead and continue our game. Let's see how far we get. Queen Vladena IV of the Avatar Dynasty. Technically, aren't all the queens members of the Eastern Count still? No, because I believe that was a pretender. That was a relative that got put on the throne. So go ahead and exclamation mark join, followed by he, she, or they to join in. We'll get a new ruler's reign going. You shall have your revenge. Will you now? Will you now? I don't know that you will. We'll see, though. Give it another minute or two to let more people join in. The time will be ripe at some point. Will it, though? Will it? We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Glub. If character shows up, there is no need to say Kirby Pink. Well, I just usually do the whole thing because that's what it says, and there are funny things that will happen. It can be really amusing to use the full name for some events, especially. Alright, let's go ahead and begin the game. You can still continue to join in after the start, of course. Just exclamation mark join, he, she, or they. And the spring of 1019, Queen Vladena IV. Alright, so first of all, our coronation. Your Majesty, it was an honor to serve your mother, but now it's your time to wear the crown. I mean, Lil Bunny, if you join in, you could actually try to help. What? But it's my coronation. This isn't an absolute monarchy, Your Majesty. Everything has to be run past the council vote, even this. Shall we call the nobles in? Alright, so we can host a lavish parade with jugglers and fountains of wine. That would increase our stability, but decrease the treasury. We can invite foreign dignitaries and show off our wealth. That would cost 1,800 from the treasury, but increase trade, which we do not need. Throw the queen into the river. Increase stability and decrease authority, or outdated traditions. There's no need for a coronation at all. Decrease authority. Well, Monarch's vote, of course, is throw me into the river. Why not? I need a good bath. I need a good bath. Wow, guys, some of you are just immediately trying to destroy my treasury. Just immediately trying to destroy the kingdom. Alright. Oh no. Oh no. Any other votes? Nope. Nope. That's it. That's it. We're not doing the tradition. Invite foreign dignitaries and show off our wealth. Dignitaries arrive from all corners of Celestath, and it's only appropriate you show off. A trained eagle drops a ruby-encrusted crown atop your head as you stand on a golden podium. The awed crowd includes such influential figures as the Dukes of Saul, the Princes of Tavalin, and even a pearl bearer from Atesh. Lucrative trade deals are struck at the evening's feast. Guys. You voted to increase trade, which was already 10. There's fund when it comes to building buildings, which is once a year. All right, people's wealth increased. It's terrible. It's terrible. Only the Grand Pensionary of Kurth is not in attendance. The Republic, after all, is fundamentally opposed to the very concept of monarchy. Alright, council introduction. Now that you're the queen, your first duty is to meet with the Council of Nobles. Let's introduce ourselves to the chiefs of the North. Chief, proper job. Good luck in the days ahead, your highness. You'll need it dealing with us lot. Introduce ourselves to the Counts of the East. Count Conte Nosisdoc. An honor to finally make your acquaintance, your majesty. I was dismayed to hear of your mother's passing. And introduce ourselves to the patricians of the coast. Lord Patrician Zuizgond. A pleasure, your esteemed highness. I hope to see our kingdom prosper and grow wealthy under your reign. And with that, the introductions are done. The council hall immediately fills with raised voices as the nobles argue. Is this what your mother fought so hard for? And the path to victory. It's fun to see the kingdom struggle from the get-go. Your Majesty, well, so we have also seen what happens when the treasury runs out, so keep in mind that, you know, if you want to see a different event, you know, maybe go for stability or authority. Yeah. Your Majesty, you have some big boots to fill. And with your mother out of the picture, the nobles will be looking for any opportunity to replace you. When you die, how do you hope the kingdom will remember you? As a conqueror, goal military. As the greatest queen who ever lived, goal authority. As the architect of a new golden age, trade. As a peacekeeper, goal stability. As a mother of a nation, farming. As a saint, faith. Well, I want to win, but I also want to win by doing something else that we haven't done before. So we've done farming. We've done trade. Did we do Peacekeeper? I think we go with Peacekeeper. An admirable aim. Why are the Chiefs pious? Because I got a really good event last time that bumped it up by 5 points. I did succeed at farming, yeah. I believe so. Maybe I didn't. I don't remember exactly. I suggest over the next few years you focus on improving the king's stability as much as possible. Once you have an heir, I will return to discuss how your ambition is progressing. Good luck, your majesty. Okay, let's end the season. Yeah, that's what I thought. Scheme, counts. Gromery of the Kirby Pink dynasty, a powerful eastern bird breeder, leans delicately on a podium, sighing. My fellow counts, in ancient times the East was its own proud kingdom. We can bring back those days of glory, but not while the false Queen Vladena IV wears the crown. You believe the ninth god is all right now? Alright, so, sorcery, raise authority, subterfuge, lower stability, or ascension, lower own faith. Go ahead and vote counts. There are quite a few of you. What do you want? Going for lower own faith. Terrible. These counts, Grabzax, need dealt with. Yep, I agree. I agree. All right. Going for Ascension, lower own faith. Voting has closed. 5 nobles voted for Ascension, lower own faith. The Counts plan to induct the Queen into their secret cult and offer her immortality in exchange for the throne. First, they must reduce the power of the Eastern Church. To advance their scheme, the Counts must lower their faith to 4 or less in 3 seasons. Alright. Scheme patricians. Quinta of the Ice Sovereign 28 family, powerful coastal politician, political fixer, scribbles with a well-used quill on a hardwood desk, explaining in measured prose. Fellow patricians of the coast, my claim to the throne is far more legitimate than that of Queen Vladena IV. Something must be done. Alright, Doppelganger, lower own defiance, intimidation, raise stability, or conspiracy, lower treasury. What are you choosing, patricians? Those are the patricians. Conspiracy, lower treasury is leading there, but someone's going for Doppelganger. Not many patricians have much to... Oh. Well, I'll give it a moment to for another patrician to vote. Otherwise, we're going to take a coin flip. Okay. Going for Doppelganger. Lower own defiance. Howdy, Shield of Hope. How's it going? The patricians plan to swap the real queen for a perfect doppelganger. First, they must gain the trust of the spymaster. We got easy win with C. To advance their scheme, the patricians must keep defiance at 4 or less in 4 seasons. I mean, do you? Do you? I have ways of bumping up, treasury. Marta of the Rack Savage clan, infamous Northern Elder, stands precariously on a longhouse crossbeam, spitting as they speak. Chiefs of the North, we all know I should be on the throne, not this imposter Queen Vladena IV. How do we make that happen? Alright, Uprising, goal, raise treasury, Ragnarok, raise own military, or Hornblower, lower all faith. So A, B, or C. Really want to know why everyone doesn't go for the easy option? So, well, part of it, Ice Sovereign, is going to be wanting to see other things. I would certainly rather see other things happen. Alright, going for Ragnarok. Like, again, like, I could have gone for trade as a win condition. I've already seen that, though. You know? So I don't want to do that again unless I, like, absolutely have to. Ragnarok with the lowest military, yep. The chiefs plan to make an alliance with the ice giants to take over the kingdom. First, they must not be weak, or the giants won't take their proposal seriously. To advance their scheme, the chiefs must raise their military to 5 or more in 4 seasons. Okay. So there are the pretenders. Monarch currently has no heir. Continue to laws of the land. Alright, call for unity, +1 stability if more than 50% of the nobles vote for any one option. Swing vote, or royal gamble. I'm going to go for a call for unity right now. 5 isn't so bad, that's true. You are 2 away from there. Alright, bankruptcy looms, the honor guard, and a new trend. Let's get the honor guard first. As is tradition, each region offers a selection of elite guards. The chiefs with their most famous warrior heroes, the counts with their knights of the Order of the Drowned Rose, and the patricians offer their greatest gladiators, champions of the arena. Unfortunately, we can't recruit Eastern Knights. There's been a major scandal. Some of their poetry was plagiarized. They won't come to the capital until this blows over. You'll need to pick someone else. Alright. Well, we've heard about these. I can't go for the foreign mercenaries, so I've made my decision. I wait your verdict with bated breath, Your Majesty. I am going to choose the Northern Warriors. The fiends, how dare they copy our works? I will make the arrangements at once. Thought it'd give +1 military too. There really aren't that many things other than buildings that increase military. The warrior heroes arrive a few weeks later. They swagger in with big grins and bigger axes, belching and singing and roaring out unsavory jokes. One of your courtiers faints. Alright, we're not going to do bankruptcy looms yet. A new trend. Lord Patrician Shield of Hope is here to... Lord Patrician Shield of Hope is here to see you, Your Majesty. He wants to sell you, a crab. A what? It's the latest trend along the coast, Your Majesty. The patricians have started keeping a species of jeweled crab as a fashionable pet. The creatures are so rare that one can now sell for as much as a mansion. Very well, send him in. Thank you for seeing me, Your Majesty. I know the price is steep, but I assure you these crabs will only go up in value. No, I'm not going to buy your tulips. Turn this fool away? What a waste of everyone's time. I'll make the sale of jeweled crabs illegal, since I can't buy the box of crabs either. Of course, such a drastic measure will require a vote. You summon your council at once. Alright, so we can ban the sale of the jeweled crabs, which will decrease stability, increase defiance, and decrease farming, or we can refuse to limit the market. Well, I'm going to call for unity. Go ahead and vote, everyone. A or B. If I can't buy them, no one can. Alright, refusing to limit the market, looks like. Oh, that's even. That's even. There's still some more votes out there, though. There's 14 votes in. There's 18 nobles. Alright. That's what we're going with. Voting is closed. 8 nobles voted for banning the sale of jeweled crabs. Now that the sale of crabs is illegal, the pinchy little creatures are more valuable than ever. Stability is now steady. Gangs of crab smugglers spring up along the coast, murdering each other over profitable reefs. Thousands of fishermen start hunting crabs instead of the fish that sustain the coastal diet. Farming is now needful, defiance is now insolent, and stability is now stable. Well, I offset the stability loss. I wasn't expecting 2 points. Oh well. And a bankruptcy looms. The treasury is almost empty, Your Highness. Well, I know where it all went. I'm looking at you guys. What do you suggest we do? Apart from raising taxes, we have precious few options. You could get a bank loan, or sell off the crown jewels, or perhaps crack open some of your predecessors' tombs. Most were buried with piles of gold, or so I've heard. I own the royal mint, don't I? Make more coins. Sell off some of the royal jewelry to wealthier nobles. Take a hefty loan from Salvant and Gaul Bank. Or time to crack open some tombs. So, defiance would go up, stability would go down. Take a hefty loan from Salvant and Gaul Bank. That's lower authority, but that is a good amount of treasury. Oh, I just realized I own the Royal Mint, don't I? Make more coins. 10,000. Oh. Oh, wow. Yeah. I feel like that's probably going to go very, very poorly. Let's sell off some of the royal jewelry to the wealthier nobles. You auction off dozens of necklaces, 5 gold rings, and a jeweled scepter to the nobles. What could possibly go wrong, yeah. It is a humiliating affair. Selling off symbols of power makes you look weak and desperate. Yeah, well, it's their fault. Authority is now credible. Oh, look at this tiara. Fetching, isn't it? Don't mind if I do. So, Chief Zero Zarase's wealth has gone down, and my treasury has gone up. Patrician Farsight. Hey, check out the scepter. It's like I'm the queen. My treasury has gone up a little bit more, and Farsight 3 the Third's wealth has decreased. Wait, wrong scepter! Oh no! Luckily, that one has been reburied, apparently. Silliness, really. Alright, let's go ahead and end the season. Alright, so we have, for auction, the chiefs can get the fortress, increase their military, an aqueduct to increase farming, the observatory and the counts to decrease faith, prison to decrease stability. The patricians have a monument to increase authority, or a stadium to decrease military. So let's go ahead and start the auction. Obviously, I'm perfectly fine with the chiefs getting a fortress. I would also be a-okay with the aqueduct or the monument as well. And of course, remember, folks, if you want to prevent the other side from getting their thing, so you want to try to figure out something that to put money into so that the observatory doesn't get built. Because remember, you can strategically fund things to try and prevent other things. Like, you really do not want them to get that prison, chiefs. Wow. Wow, the chiefs are just going to let this go? And the patricians not doing anything to try to block anyone? Wow. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. The counts just walking all over the chiefs and the patricians. Alright, falsely accused, finding a spouse, or strange crops. Well, let's go for finding a spouse first. Your Majesty, it's important you find a spouse sooner rather than later. I'll take the liberty of finding eligible candidates. What is your preference, men, women, or do you not mind? Any. Thank you, Your Majesty. I'll send out messengers to the most influential nobles in the kingdom. Let's see what they have to offer. There's not 3 times as many counts. There's 2 more counts than chiefs, and there's the same number of patricians. And the chiefs have more money, the patricians have more money. I'm just saying. I'll let the counts walk all over you. It's shocking. It's just shocking. Alright. Sounds like 3 times as many. Alright, we got some strange crops up in the north. Chief Lizard Danger. The harvest in the north has been an utter disaster. Look at this turnip. Don't point that thing at me. Let me take a look. I mean, it's just a hollow turnip. It's your fault for trying to breed that a while ago. The turnip is riddled with rot and twisted into the grotesque shape of a skull. Half the harvest is like this. We need help if we're to get through the winter. And farming is now meager. Alright, this is probably nothing to worry about. Send scholars from Quail University to investigate the strange crops. Raid other regions' granaries to support the chiefs. Or raid granaries and send scholars to investigate. Well, the monarch suggests that you send scholars from Quail University. So that is what my vote is for. So we should try to find out what is going on. Remember, chiefs and patricians, you know, the counts have already, they're going for, like, the counts are suggesting the chiefs raid other regions. That's shocking that they want to be raided. Alright. Looks like we're going to investigate. 7 nobles in the monarch voted for. Send scholars from Quail University to investigate the strange crops. By the old gods, we need gray, not wizened old men to look at our blighted crops and mumble at to each other about weather patterns. Defiance is now aloof, and stability is now unstable. You send a fleet of scholars from the university to examine the fields in the north. Whether or not the mystery is solved, a bleak winter lies ahead. Their farming is down to 0. Alright. Falsely accused. See, again, you guys had an option to build an aqueduct, too. Count Faramir II. Your Highness, I bring bad news from a newly constructed prison in the east. See, again, chose a prison, and that's terrible. Yet other things that could have helped you. One of the prisoners, a murderous rogue by the name of Cheddar Spurt, has escaped. His location is currently... The double doors bang open. A grubby-looking peasant strides into the council hall, escorted by an anxious watchman. In this room? Howdy, is that Lena Lawrence or Aina Lawrence? I'm not sure if that's an L or an I. Sorry, Your Majesty. He said it was urgent, and he was pretty persuasive. With coin, right? Hyena. Ah, okay. Your Majesty, I swear I am innocent. Count Faramir II threw me in prison on trumped-up charges simply because I said I didn't like his hat. Your Majesty, I have no idea what this fool is talking about. I mean, it's a pretty bad hat, so, you know. The patrician's goal is doppelganger. Throw this foolish peasant back into prison. Free Cheddar and imprison Count Faramir instead. Ask the spy master to investigate further. Or allow both Count Faramir II and the peasant to go free. I'm going to veto something, I think. I'm going to veto throw this foolish peasant back into prison. Do not want stability even lower. I am all for either investigating further or just throwing Count Faramir in instead. I mean, obviously, you know, I mean, just look at that hat. Just look at that hat. Can you trust that hat? I don't think we can trust that hat. All right, looks like we're going to ask the spy master to investigate further. Is it a dapper hat? I don't know. I don't know. Voting has closed. All right, ask the spy master to investigate further. By Zenya's ashes, Your Majesty, you're going to investigate me on the word of this peasant? The spy master slips away to investigate this matter. When she returns, she is holding a hat. There's no doubt about it, Your Majesty. I actually quite like the hat. It's stylish, but Cheddar Spurt was imprisoned on spurious charges simply for insulting it under his breath. Now what are you going to do about it? Throw Cheddar Spurt back into prison, free Cheddar and imprison the Count instead, or allow both Count Faramir II and the peasant to go free. Well, it's going to be bad. They could rebel, but, you know, we'll see what we can do about that. It takes 7 watchmen to restrain Count Faramir II as he is dragged down to your dungeons. Alright, so Defiance is now mutinous. While the common folk celebrate Cheddar Spurt's exoneration, it's taken as a sign the Queen's justice is flawed. So the authority has gone down, but the stability is up. Faramir III has joined the council. Faramir II has been imprisoned. He's really mad about that hat, yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and end the season. Trade bonus. The patricians strike a lucrative trade deal with Saul worth 500 wealth. The other nobles gain 200 wealth. Let's go ahead and bribe the counts. Let's go ahead and tax the patricians. And we can afford to tax the chiefs as well. There we go. Let's go ahead and confirm that. So the north is now grumbling, the east is now aggrieved, and the coast is now aggrieved. Continue to rebellion report. Defiance is too high, yep. Counts are on the verge of rebellion. But the patricians are not. My money! Look at all this money. You guys got tons of money. Alright, end the season. Alright, crab smuggling, eligible options, and food riots. Alright, let's go with eligible options. I have found 3 potential matches for you. One eligible young candidate from each of the kingdom's 3 regions. Choose wisely, you'll be secure in a powerful alliance. Yes, yes, I know. Alright then, let's see the eligible candidates. They whisk away the cloth from the first portrait. This is Kestrid, the firstborn daughter of the northern Aina Lawrence clan. Beautiful, isn't she? Apparently she's also exceptionally well-mannered and agreeable for a northerner. She keeps the company of witch-women and god-speakers who have taught her mysterious secrets. She was already engaged once, but it didn't last. No one's sure why. I can see the appeal, I suppose. This is Grimwald, the eldest heir of the Eastern Druda Plays dynasty. Apparently they had a hell of a time getting them to smile for this portrait. A very pious individual. They did have to suppress a peasant revolt on their land recently. I wonder why. They're an intriguing candidate. And finally, from the coast, we have Nestor, the wealthy heir to a noble patrician Uzerdau's estate. He's always getting himself into trouble for some reason or another. He loves to lose his fortune betting in the arena. There was also a scandal recently where he was publicly critical of the church. Nothing came of it. Could be worse. Could be a lot better. And what do you think? Of course, by picking a candidate, you'll anger the other regions, but you'll gain a lifelong alliance. Alright. I have made my decision. Grimwald of the East. Excellent. I'll make the arrangements. The coast is now mutinous. The East is now grumbling. And the North is now insolent. Five have voted to rebel. But defiance is now below authority or stability. Rebellion halted. Alright, we got food riots, and we got crab smuggling. Let's go to crab smuggling. Greetings, Your Majesty. Ever since the sale of jeweled crabs was outlawed, crab smugglers are damn near taking over the coast. To make matters worse, the local sheriffs are so deep in the smugglers' pockets they might as well be lint. Tell me more. Rival smugglers are murdering each other on the beaches. It's carnage out there. Alright, hire a sea wizard to wipe the crabs from the land. Treasury is too low for that. Appoint a new group of trustworthy sheriffs focused solely on crab-related crimes. Trade would go down. Treasury would go down. But stability and authority would both go up. Banning crabs isn't working. Legalize it. Authority would go down. Trade would go up. Send a strongly worded reprimand to the local sheriffs. Trade and farming would go down. I am going to veto banning crabs isn't working. So the best option is C, to appoint a new group of trustworthy sheriffs. vote for what you want. Remember, if you vote A, then the patricians are going to be losing trade and farming. Things that they cannot really afford to lose. Voting to harm this. And patricians, remember, look at the chiefs and the counts voting to hurt you. They're voting to destroy your lands. Can you let that stand? Can you let that stand? You need to oppose them. You need to oppose them. Howdy, Bahamut. How's it going? Alright, well. Patricians, it looks like you've got enemies in the north and the east. Send a strongly worded reprimand to the local sheriffs. Trade is down by 1, and farming is down by 1. You send the sheriffs a stern letter of complaint. You tell them you're not angry, just disappointed. The sheriffs promise to do better, but it's quickly apparent that the scale of the problem is too much for them. Nothing is done about the crab smuggling, and the legitimate fishing industry along the coast suffers a terminal decline. I tried to help. I tried to help you, Coast. I tried to help you. I was willing to spend money from my meager treasury. Food riots. Chief Rack Savage. Your Majesty, the famine in the north grows worse by the day. Riots are breaking out in all the major townships, from Skarma to Thormgard. Starving mobs are pillaging bakeries, granaries, and merchant houses. What are we to do? So, I cannot import massive amounts of food from Tavlin and Kirith. We could send in the army to control the riots. The chiefs should buy up surplus grain from the counts, or order grain supplies to be diverted from the east. Well, let's go ahead and call for unity. Go ahead and start the vote. Go ahead and get your votes in. Farming would really help in the sea would definitely help the chiefs farming. Well, I was hoping for Call for Unity would get me something here, but it's all split. Alright. Voting tied at 6. Alright, well, I get to break the tie, so the chiefs should buy up surplus grain from the counts. You tried to vote, but it didn't go through. Have you joined? It's exclamation mark join followed by he, she, or they, your pronoun of choice, and that will actually get you in. I do not see you in. Backed into a corner, the chiefs are forced to pay steeply for the grain surplus from the east. Holding all the cards, the counts price gouge outrageously and enjoy a tidy profit. Trade is now opulent in the north. Trade can't go higher in the east. Some chiefs' wealth has decreased, and some counts' wealth has increased. Don't be upset, it's just good business. Immense quantities of surplus grain are diverted from the east to the north, and once the peasants have bread again, the riots cease. There's enough to tide them over until the next harvest. Up to 3 farming. There goes your dosh. Alright, let's go ahead and end that season. Hiding from the church. In a tiny village far to the east, 2 counts meet in a derelict tavern. No one dares even glance in their direction. Count Canadian Dragon. Lowborn all across my lands are rejecting the 9th god. Yes, and the tithe collectors don't dare knock at the door to my keep. So trade can't go higher in the east. That is Count surrounded. Now, we must not falter. If the queen grows proud, we can offer her the ultimate reward, immortality. For the next stage of their scheme, the counts must raise authority to 5 or more in 4 seasons. Okay. Let's see. Swing votes, anonymous voting, or stop the count. Go ahead and continue to the rebellion report. Okay. The patricians are on the verge of rebellion, but the counts and the chiefs cannot. Now remember, patricians, you want to actually lower your rebellion. Alright, the royal wedding. Your wedding to Grimwald is naturally the talk of the kingdom. Nobles and peasants alike travel from across the realm to attend. For a week and a day, the capital is one giant party. I mean, they have 6 versus the 3 and 5 of the chiefs and the counts. It feels like you're the only one not taking part. Instead, you're getting ready for the ceremony. Soon enough, you're standing in St. Bertrand's Cathedral with Grimwald at your side. Wonder how many seasons the game allows before it forces something to happen? I don't think it... Like, so when the queen is... or when your ruler is trying to win, each time you fail your goal when you're at that point, it goes higher next time. So eventually you will succeed. So that's the mechanic in there so that you don't get stuck in a rut. Do you take this person as your lawfully wedded spouse? I do. Then I pronounce you queen and spouse. After the wedding, of course, there's a feast. And after the feast, a dance. Your new spouse, Grimwald, refuses to dance at all, preferring instead to brood in the corner. What do you have, chiefs and counts? I mean, would you really want... I mean... Remember that whoever leads the rebellion is the one that wins. So, do you want the patricians to win? Stability is now stable. Authority is now credible. Defiance is now grumbling in the north. Defiance is now aggrieved in the coast. And Defiance is now aloof in the east. By the time you find yourself alone with Grimwald, it's past midnight and you've never felt more tired. Did you see the 8 crows perched on the church tower as we walked into the cathedral? A dire omen. Come on, cheer up. We just got married. I'm sure there's nothing to worry about. Perhaps you're right. The peasants have the right idea. They get married for love, not for politics. Oh, to live the simple life of a commoner. There. We're both in this together. You comfort Grimwald into the night, listening as they express their doubts and fears. As dawn breaks, they fall asleep on your shoulder, exhausted. Aww. Alright. Rebellion halted. Yes! Ha ha ha! Rebellion halted. Alright. Let's see. So we have a new discovery there. We've got an escaped experiment there again. Alright, well, let's see what kind of escaped experiment we have. Apparently something has escaped from the cellars of Countess Watching the Sky 11's castle. I've asked for an eyewitness report from a local.
Hello, Your Majesty. It was a right unholy sight. Monster stitched together from parts dug up from the village ceremony. I recognized my Aunt Edna's earlobes.
Are you related to the peasant from my mother's reign?
No. Not related at all. Nope. Nope. No relation.
You polished your pitchfork just for the occasion. Did it hurt anyone?
No, it just seemed confused. Kept asking for its mother.
This creature is my life's work, Your Highness, and my son. Watching the sky, what are you doing? Didn't we learn? Well, actually, no, we did learn. No, okay, I actually understand why you might have done this. His escape was regrettable. He just wanted to see the village up close. Rest assured, I have chained him up far more securely in my dungeon to ensure this won't happen again. Did you make a Frankenstein? You made a Frankenstein's monster. Or a Watching the Sky 11's monster, as the case may be. It's too late for that, Countess. You and your unholy creation must be burned. It is the only way to cleanse the world of your evil. Alright. Let's see. Freeing the monster has a 50% chance of something good. No one actually wants stability down at this point. I am going to veto the monster may live as long as it stays imprisoned. Alright, start the vote. Now, obviously, we should burn both Watching the Sky 11 and her monster because this is unholy monstrosity, and we need the faith to get up. And stability. I mean, we did have a good luck with the Free the Monster before, but... Alright, looks like we're going to burn the monster, but let the Countess live. Voting has closed. No, burn me if you wish, but spare my beautiful boy. No! Defiance is now insolent in the east. Countess Watching the Sky 11's hideous creation is burned at dawn, filling the village with a choking, acrid smoke that doesn't dissipate for days. Faith is now skeptical. Riots spread across the east, as the common folk protests that Countess Watching the Sky 11 herself has been allowed to escape justice. Stability is now teetering. Alright. A new discovery. The scholars you sent to investigate the strange harvest in the north have finally returned.
All our tests came back negative. The blighted fields were dozens of miles apart, often with completely different crops. We only found one thing in common.
Yes?
The plowshares. They were all forged from iron from the same mine, owned by Chief Shadow Mousy II. But that couldn't be the cause. It's impossible.
Shadow Mousy, have you been playing around with dark magics again? You're part of the monster, didn't do nothing in the group. Yes, you're right, impossible. Servants, fetch Chief Shadow Mousy II, would you? You boffins better take a look at this iron, don't you think?
Yes, Your Majesty. Good idea, Your Majesty.
Thank you. Alright. Let's go ahead and end the season. Looks around innocently whistling. Seeking a simulacrum. Anchored a few miles from the sunny coast, Lord Patrician Cappy Brad has invited his closest confidants aboard his yacht. The ninth god is not smiling upon us, friend. We failed to win the Spymaster's trust. She still watches us with an eagle eye. How goes the search for the lookalike? Not well. I'm still looking. The best I've found is a peasant with the wrong-shaped nose, the wrong-colored eyes, and a wooden leg. Don't let that discourage you. Keep searching. Our doppelganger is out there. I'm sure of it. The patricians' aim is to lower their defiance to 4 or less. See, again, remember, you could if you rebel, you're not following through on your plan. You want to actually get your defiance down, patricians. Far to the north, where snow blankets the landscape and wolves howl in the night, the chiefs plot to bring about the end of the world. Ragnarok. Have the ice giants agreed to meet with us yet? Playing around with dark powers and infusing iron with evil magics, and trying to make a deal with the ice giants, Shadow Mousy. Terrible. Terrible. Nay, the last envoy we sent came back in a basket. Clearly, they aren't taking us seriously. Then we need to keep training our warriors. The only thing the giants respect is strength. The chief's aim is to raise their military to at least 5. Dragons would not dare to rebel. Yeah, unfortunately, there aren't enough dragons to be in any of the groups. You could join Bahamut, and then you could choose not to rebel. All right. Monarch currently has no heir, unfortunately. Oh, did you join? Oh, let me see. Sorry. Yes. Yes, there you are. Sorry, I missed you. Alright, let's go ahead and end the season. Alright, the Wandering Bard, the Good Word, and a Wild Beast attacks. Well, let's see about the Wandering Bard first.
Your Majesty, a traveling bard. She says she has come to compose a song for you.
Not just any bard, Your Highness. The best in all the land. Sally Sixfingers, they call me.
A song, you say? About me?
Why, of course. In fact, I have the tune and verse all but ready. I have saved my best work for you, my queen. All I require is a subject. What should I tell the masses of you? What would you like to inspire?
Well, teach them to love me.
I will do so, Your Highness. Absolutely. Give me but a few weeks, and everyone within the Crownlands will know of your benevolence.
FF4 Tella, you spoony bard. No, no, no. Sally Sixfingers is not spoony. Look at her. Look at her. She's wonderful. Always choose fear.
Pray, I need only a small payment of 500 gold for the time. A discounted rate for one as esteemed as yourself.
You deserve more than that. What about 1,000? 70% chance.
Oh, thank you, Your Majesty.
She hurries out of the throne room to do your bidding. The song has a desired effect, with everyone praising your good nature. Stability increases. It only costs 1,000 gold and put us down to 300. Yay. The Good Word. Throw money at the problem? That fixes it? It did.
Greetings, Vladena. I had an idea. As I'm sure you know, my fellow counts have been shirking their religious duties a bit recently. Faith in the ninth god could certainly be higher in the east right now. The problem is the feeling of disconnection from the church here in the capital. But I think if the message came from one of their own, it might make a difference.
You want to become a preacher?
Not a preacher exactly, just an ambassador, I suppose, to show them what it means to be a faithful adherent of the ninth god. Will you give me your blessing?
Go forth and bring the good word to them, my love.
How delightful! I'll make the preparations immediately.
Word spreads fast that the royal consort will tour the east. Thousands flock to the towns and villages where they plan to stop. Unfortunately, they're mostly flocking to throw vegetables. The popularity of the crown in the east clearly isn't as high as Grimwald had hoped. Authority goes down. Faith is now impious. Dang it! Wow! It's not long before they call off the tour and return home, their tail tucked between their legs. Wow. Alright, the Wild Beast attacks. Chief Bahamut Zero Dragon, there you are.
Your Highness, I bring ill tidings from the north. Wildlife has gone berserk in rural areas. They're attacking villages and travelers all across the region.
Tell me more about these creatures.
They're great hulking beasts, clearly twisted by magic. Some say they walk and talk like people. The northern warriors are afraid. They say the creatures are a dark omen, a sign of the end.
By the ninth, what's got into these chiefs that they can't handle a few wild animals?
The other regions have plenty of their own problems, Your Serene Highness. No one wants to march up to the frozen north for something like this.
They're all as useful as nipples on a breastplate.
Point of order, Your Highness. The Church of the Ninth God could provide shelter for those who need it. All will be welcome, whether they are adherents to the true God or not. It's the least we can do.
Or if you can afford it, send a detachment of mercenaries who aren't afraid of a few wild bears. That should put an end to this crisis.
Alright, treasury is too low. We cannot hire mercenaries. Well, so we could tell the northerners that they must fend for themselves, or we can instruct the northerners to seek refuge in the ninth god's churches. I am going to set a law for call for unity. I think we should instruct the northerners to seek refuge in the ninth god's churches. Telling them to fend for themselves would be just awful and very cruel. And remember, chiefs, keep an eye on who is telling you to fend for themselves, for yourselves. Keep in mind who is doing that. And have a long memory. A very, very long memory. Alright, well, looks like even one of the chiefs has decided. Rack Savage. Telling yourselves to fend for yourselves. Wow. It's not a whole lot of the chiefs actually voting here. Voting is closed. But I got my stability. 11 nobles voted for tell the Northerners that they must fend for themselves. Stability is now civil, defiance is now mutinous in the north, and authority is now ineffective. You explain that the pest control is not usually part of the Queen's mandate, but the chiefs do not agree. Strange beasts continue to ravage the northern countryside, continually eluding any soldiers sent after them. At the very least, their attacks lessen with time. Farming is now barren. So again, chiefs! Chiefs! I was all for helping you out. Your farming went down because of the votes. Don't look at me. Alright, let's end the season. Okay, so we have an aqueduct that will help your farming up in the north, Chief. You got a fortress, which would also help your military. That's what you're looking for. But remember that, everyone else. Let's see, a library in the patricians. That could increase stability. Let's get the auction started. I think a monument counts. You want that monument. And chiefs, you got money. You should probably be putting some of that money into something. Maybe you're farming, considering it's terrible. I mean, your farming is pretty terrible. $20 seconds remaining. Get your fundage in. Man, no one likes to spend their money in this game. There's so much money floating around that no one spends. Time's up. All right, so the monument and the fortress. Let's go ahead and end that season. All right, bankruptcy looms, about your heir, and more beast attacks. How do you see what you have? If you install the widget, which should be on the right side of the screen, then you'll get a plugin that appears over on the left side. I can also pull up the noble list here. Gresker and Lord Canis both have no money right now. Same with Kirby Pink and Faramir III. Zuizgond has only 150. So, yeah, there's quite a few people without... Like, there's a lot of people just sitting on large amounts of money. And then there's quite a few people who are actually doing the work. While others in your group are just coasting on cash. It's terrible. Alright. Bankruptcy looms. Let's see what we can do. The treasury is almost empty, Your Highness. I own the Royal Mint, don't I? Make more coins. That would be helpful. Time to crack open some tombs. No. That would be bad. I guess we're going to have to take a hefty loan. Alright, 3,300. The Bank of Salvant and Gaul operates from the fabulously wealthy Republic of Kirith, all the way across the Western Sea. They assure you, however, that they maintain total independence from the Republic. The banker they send to you to take your signature has delicate hands and sharp teeth. He watches as you put pen to paper, eyes glittering. You're making an excellent decision, Your Majesty. You shall pay us back with 25% interest in 1 year. Settling the kingdom in debt isn't great for optics, but you had no other choice. Right, authority is now ineffective. Alright, about your heir. Your marriage to Grimwald has grown strong and steady, like an old castle wall. Though it began as a political arrangement, it's blossomed into something like love. It's high time you thought about an heir. Congratulations are in order. The royal wedding was a magnificent affair. But something's still missing. You need an heir. You need someone young whose loyalty is assured. A child of your own would do the trick, even if they're a bastard, or the youngest of your many cousins. My spouse and I will have a child together. Ah, the traditional method. No one will object to that. I'll arrange for you to take a month off from ruling so you can get down to business. To defeat the Huns, of course. And more beast attacks. Lord Patrician Zuizgand. You must do something about this wild animal problem, Your Serene Highness. It's getting out of control. Is this about those beasts that were attacking the north? Yes, Your Serene Highness. Only now they've migrated and are ravaging our farmlands. I wouldn't rule out the possibility of a ploy by the chiefs. Those heathens have no respect for their neighbors. I tried to warn you. You can't blame us for this. Settle down, both of you. We just have to vote on the issue. Glub. Alright, denounce the chiefs for letting this happen. It's defiance and stability. Let the patricians deal with the problem themselves. That at least has a chance of working. Pay for mercenaries to deal with this once and for all. Well, I will call for unity. Start the vote. Wow. There's a lot of denouncing of the chiefs for letting this happen. That's a lot. Alright, voting is closed. I got some stability out of that. It's going to be a wash on stability, but the defiance, yes. But also, their military is 4. I mean, if they want to rebel... You issue a public statement warning the kingdom of the dangerous beasts and placing the blame squarely on the chiefs. Stability is now steady. Stability is now stable. Oh, wow, it's not a wash, actually. Defiance is now treasonous. When they hear this, the other patricians are predictably enraged at the chiefs, and relations sour between the two regions. The coast soldiers beat back the tide, but not before suffering losses they won't soon forget. That succeeded. Their military is now capable, and Defiance is now furious. Alright, well, let's go ahead and end the season. Alright, trade bonus. The Counts discover treasure worth 500 wealth in a long-abandoned crypt. The other nobles gain 200 wealth. Well, that's not actually going to help there. Well, that actually doesn't matter. Alright, let's go ahead and confirm that tax. Why does it say 9 to 10? They were already at 10. Alright, continue through the rebellion report. On the verge of rebellion and on the verge of rebellion. Alright, famine.
Hello, Your Majesty. I've traveled all the way from the north to beg you to do something about the price of grain. Can't afford to feed my family. A day of back-breaking work isn't enough to buy a super Aloo.
Oh no! Oh no! Can't buy a super Aloo! She's right. The grain price in the north is beyond all control. Greedy merchants rake in profit while the common folk starve. We could put a cap on the price of grain, subsidize grain and ensure it's sold for half its worth. That would increase farming, but decrease stability. Import grain from the east and distribute it for free. That is a lot. The loss of the free market will correct itself in due time. Alright, well, I'm going to veto the free market will correct itself in due time. So let's go ahead and vote. And subsidizing the grain is winning there. Could get more farming. Oh, voting tied at 8. Well, looks like I'm going to tie break by import grain from the east and distribute it for free.
The north is in your debt, your majesty.
The kingdom's coffers open and a tide of free grain flows from the east to the north, putting many northern merchants out of business, but giving some counts a nice windfall. That is a lot of stuff that I lost out of the treasury. Trade can't go higher. Trade is now only prosperous. Some counts' wealth has increased. The grain proves sufficient to keep the peasants alive until the next harvest, which will hopefully bring better days. Stability has gone up. Farming is now sufficient. Alright, so we got our findings. Extraordinary findings. We've had the most extraordinary findings after studying the corrupted ore, your majesty.
You call it extraordinary. I call it heresy.
What's this all about?
I'm here to dissuade you from listening to this madman.
All I want is to advance the cause of knowledge without the church's ignorance getting in the way. What have you found out? I assume you know the scripture, your majesty. You know what happened to the 8th god after the manifestation of the 9th.
I'm a queen, not a priest, you tell me. Let's see. The 8th asunder lies entombed.
Yes, that's how the old song goes. The 8th god was torn into 8 pieces by the 9th, and each piece was interred deep beneath the ground. After reviewing some of the ancient texts in our library, we believe that the iron mine in the north must be near one of these buried pieces. The ore is cursed because of it is infected by the memories of a dead god. It seems like a bad thing. Oh, it's one of the most important discoveries of the modern age. If we are allowed to study this ore further, perhaps we could create an entirely new kind of metal.
If this ore contains even a shadow of the 8th's power, we must rebury it all and collapse the mine on top of it. The 9th god deigned that the 8th must stay buried, and so it must be.
Oh, you would be squandering a resource of potentially incalculable value. If we can remove the curse, we could unlock the power of a god. So allow the scholars to continue experimenting on the cursed ore. Rebury the ore and collapse the mine on top of it. Shut down the research project, but leave the mines intact. I'm going to Monarch's choice. Monarch's vote. Rebury the ore and collapse the mine on top of it. Alright, go ahead and vote. This ore would be terrible for the north. C doesn't actually make a whole lot of sense if you think about it. Well, It looks like we're gonna shut down the research project, but leave the mines intact. Could have helped your farming there, chiefs. Faith is now irreverent. The scholars are disappointed that they can't experiment with the ore. The church is furious that the mines still exist at all. Meanwhile, the area around the mine in the north... earthquakes are being recorded almost daily. A strange silver fog spills from the mine's entrance. Stability is now teetering. The locals whisper that something very bad is about to happen. But what does that matter? The peasants are always whispering about some omen or other. You pay it no mind. Alright. Uthrandir. Chief Lord Canis II. Your Majesty, the creatures that have been ravaging our countryside, they're Uthander. Uthander? Uthander, your greatness. People in the north turned into horrible creatures through ancient ritual. Shadow Mousy, were you experimenting with dark magic again? Werebeasts. We should act swiftly, then. Wait, Your Majesty, there's something else you should know. The Uthander, they're fanatics. They attack us because they believe we have turned against our old gods. They wish to see the influence of your ninth god completely eradicated in the north. Your archbishop is incensed, but you calm him with a wave of your hand. A vote must be called. Looks around, innocently whistling. Dang it! Alright, the treasury is too low, so monster hunters cannot be sent after them. Ban all pagan practices in the north. Or invite the beast folk to the capital for an audience. Well, I'm going to call for unity, so start that vote. Obviously, we should ban all practices in the north. All pagan practices in the north. Obviously, we should ban all pagan practices in the north. Well, I mean, I'm getting some stability out of this anyway, so it's fine with me. Alright, voting has closed. Invite the beastfolk to the capital for an audience. Although some are aghast at the idea, it's the only way to resolve the situation once and for all. A good queen must wield diplomacy as well as she wields a sword, you recall your mother saying. Well, there goes the chances of blocking that those rebellions. Stability is now stable, though. You wonder if she had ever tried to wield it against a werebeast before. Alright. Truth and lies. While playing a game of chess in an austere castle, two counts of the East discuss their schemes against the crown. By the blood of the dead, the Queen must get a grip on the kingdom. We can't allow her to join our secret society of immortals when she can hardly keep the crown on her head. The Count's aim is to raise authority to at least 5. So remember that, Counts. You're supposed to be raising authority. Alright. Well, Monarch's golden choice. I am going to get rid of Monarch's vote and take Monarch's golden choice. Let's continue to the rebellion report. The kingdom is in rebellion. The first side to earn 5 victory points will win. Victory points are earned through events. If the rebels are victorious, the monarch is overthrown. Alright. The summit. Let's go see what that is. With the chiefs rising up against your rule, the planned summit to meet the Ulthander leaders has, of course, been called off. The werebeasts have now pledged themselves to the rebellion, fighting alongside the chiefs to bring an end to your rule and the Ninth Church's dominion over the north. Faith is now heathen, down to 0, and military is now strong. So, remember, counts and patricians, they're gonna win if they win their rebellion. And do you want them to win? Rebellion. At long last, the chiefs have reached their boiling point. You are confronted in your throne room by Chief Lizard Danger, his tattoos seeming to shift in the light of the braziers.
The chiefs of the north will rip that false crown from your head and stomp it into the mud. We will be fighting for glory, for honor, and for Marta, the true queen. Authority is now mocked, and stability is now teetering. This is a formal declaration of war. The next time we see each other will be on the battlefield. Seize him. Come along now, traitors, get the chop. What? But you can't do this. I'm an envoy. See how the queen's tyranny grows worse by the day? You brought this upon yourself, sir. Your watchman wastes no time. Chief Lizard Danger is dragged out into the courtyard, and his head is struck from his shoulders. Didn't even use a Chemifox, though. I didn't expect them to move so boldly, Your Majesty. Well, Chief Lizard Danger has died, and Lizard Danger II has joined the council. What are our chances against the rebels? The chiefs are formidable, but not undefeatable. I hope they don't persuade any other regions to join the rebellion. That would be disastrous. How did things get this bad? The leader of the rebellions is Chief Lord Canis II. As reason for this uprising, he's citing your history of petty transgressions against the chiefs. Urge to murder rising. Yes, Your Majesty, hold on to that feeling. You'll need it. So this is it? Civil war? That's right, Your Majesty. The kingdom is divided. There will be a lot of death and suffering before this is all over. I can't wait. I'll go dig out the trebuchets. Alright. Opening strike. Chief Lord Canis II. Too long have those bastards in the Crownlands held us down. Too long have they called us heathens and mocked our way of life. Aye! Now is the time to take up our axes and fight back. Morgana is with us. We'll burn their churches and string up their lying priests. Aye! Now I ask you, brave chiefs of the Free North, where will we strike first? We can launch a preemptive strike against the Counts to cripple their military capabilities. If we suspect the patricians may join our cause, we can call them to war. They'll be more likely to join us if the Queen's authority is low. Or finally, we could send off an assassin to nip this in the bud. Dishonorable, of course, but convenient. Alright, chiefs. You could attack the Counts. You could call upon the patricians, or you could send an assassin after the Queen. What do you want? Get your votes in. Well, looks like they're going to call up the patricians. Voting has closed. 5 nobles voted for call upon the patricians to join your cause. The chiefs smuggle a secret message to the patricians, and that challenge succeeded. Cunning patricians of the coast, too long have you suffered under the yoke of the Queen's tyranny. Join us in our righteous war, and if we win, we'll eliminate your taxes. Lord Patrician Tiberiosity. He speaks truly. Why did we never think of things this way? The patricians are emboldened by the call to rebellion. Of course, they can only act on it if their defiance is high enough. And now their defiance is treasonous. Alright, let's end the season. Yeah, it's not going so well. It's not going so well. Alright, to the rebellion report. There are no loyalists left in the kingdom. Everyone has turned against you. Currently rebelling. I will note that we started this out with a 10-10-10 trade, and it's basically all you guys that wrecked that, so, you know, keep that in mind. Overwhelmed. Your marshal staggers into the throne room stinking of booze. She gives you a lopsided grin. Heard the news? Ninth above, you're drunk. No, just a little Danaean courage, Saul. The Council sent word that they're joining the rebellion against you, Your Majesty. All 3 regions have now turned on you. Do you know what that means?
It means this is the end. It means you're royally, no pun intended, screwed.
Am I the baddie? All 3 regions of the kingdom rose in rebellion against you. Well,
the capital garrison could have taken on one of the regions single-handed, let alone all 3. Historically, the Queen of the Kingdom has only survived by playing the regions against each other. To unite them all in a common cause, is their hatred of you, well, it's no mean feat. You're absolutely unmatched when it comes to pissing people off, Your Majesty. You're a world beater.
It's nice to know I'm good at something.
Consider this my resignation. There's no fun in an unwinnable war.
She strides out of the throne room without looking back. The next few days, you wait for the end to come. The united armies of the rebels sweep through the Crownlands, meeting barely any resistance along the way. Soon, they're camped in a vast mass outside the capital. Against such overwhelming numbers, your walls can't hold out. The ladders go up, and the enemy soldiers pour in. As dawn rises, Chief Lord Canis II strolls into your throne room, backed by soldiers from all across the kingdom. Warriors from the north, soldiers from the coast, and knights from the east. Rebels gain 5 victory points. Well, that just seems like cheating. You've never seen this happen before?
Now let's talk about this.
What's the point of speaking to a dead woman? With a triumphant smirk, Chief Lord Canis II makes a sharp gesture. The northern warriors step forward, battle axes at the ready. You just got here and apparently you're important enough to the cause of rebellion to be the one handling communication for the faction. It likes to grab the people who've just joined for stuff like that. You can pray to your false god, but it will do you no good. Morgana has spun the fates against you. Oh, I'm gonna fight. Empty hands can do little against armor and swords. You've given a vicious beating, and the fight drains out of you. Instead of killing you, the soldiers seize you and drag you down into your own dungeon. Your ordeal isn't over. While imprisoned in your tiny cell, you hear the guards gossiping. Apparently the chiefs, counts, and patricians are already fighting over your vacated throne. The patricians and the counts are the strongest, richest, and have the most support from the church, so the throne will go to one of them. Even though the chiefs led the rebellion, they don't have the strength to seize the throne themselves. Despite your predicament, you can't help but smirk at the Chiefs' rebellion backfired. Ha! Ha ha ha! Yeah, take that, Chiefs. Take that. Lord Canis was the head, but we all know it wouldn't have been possible without your illicit funding of stuffs. After a week rotting in your own dungeon, you're marched out onto a public platform, jeered at by thousands of peasants. You cringe under a barrage of rotten fruit and fresh dung. You can see Chief Lord Canis II sitting in the front row, grinning. Rebels have won, the capital has been taken, you are a former queen. And authority is now spineless. The Chemifox awaits you, its blade gleaming in the blood-red light of dawn. It feels so impersonal. Whatever happened to the big bloke with an axe? The crowd stares up, eager to hear your last words. Citizens of the kingdom, avenge my death. The wonders of modern technology, eh? At least I'll save money on hats. Citizens of the kingdom, avenge my death. You place your head in the hole, the blade falls so quickly you scarcely have time to wonder if. Swing! Thunk! Your head bounces into Chief Lord Canis II's lap, and your reign comes to a gruesome end. Alright, successor voting is open. Type vote, exclamation mark, vote A, B, C, or D for which one you want. Man, Chiefs, yeah, you done got screwed there. You done got screwed. All right, that's 11. So voting is closed. 11 nobles voted for the next monarch to be Quinta. After the entire kingdom rose against her, Queen Vladena IV was dragged out of the palace and decapitated in the city square. The counts joined the rebellion at the last minute, either finally fed up with the queen, or perhaps desperate to be on the winning side. The chiefs, led by Lord Canis II, launched a rebellion that toppled the queen and devastated the kingdom. But when the dust cleared, they weren't quick or strong enough to seize the throne themselves. The patricians joined the rebellion alongside the chiefs. In the aftermath, they were the natural choice to take the throne, and Quinta was crowned to half-hearted cheers from the traumatized common folk. Well, it's never one of the people who join who's the ruler, because I'm always the player of the ruler, and you guys are always the player of the nobles. So there's always a claimant to the throne amongst them. All right, Queen Vladena IV, the Usurped. Game length 2 years 3 months. Spouse Grimwald of the East, and successor Queen Quinta. The nobles, the wealthiest noble, Farsight III the Third, with a massive 9,550, and the poorest noble, Aina Lawrence, with 0. And the kingdom, very little money, very low stability, no authority left. Trade in the chiefs and the patricians took massive hits there. Massive hits. That's on you guys. That's on you guys. You remember that. The bees are defending the counts, so remember that. And all that faith that we built up last time in the chiefs got utterly destroyed too. All right, but we will be continuing the dynasty shortly. I just need to step away and get some more water. For those watching on YouTube, we will be back with the next episode. For those watching on Twitch, don't go anywhere because we will be right back.